What's up, Nail Geeks? I am back with February 2021 polish pickup to show you guys. This month we have the theme World Travel, and it's got me wanting to go all over the place once everything is over with, of course. This month I have, at my final count, I think 30 items to show you guys. So quick, straight to the point. You guys know the drill. We'll get through these very quickly. But before we dive right in, I want to really stress that I do have 2 or 3 of you that have not emailed me for your giveaway gift codes. So my winners, please email me. Go check those previous videos and see if you have won. I'm going to start moving forward having a pinned comment in the videos so that you guys can check it when the giveaway ends. So this month, I'm once again going to have 10 $10 PPU gift codes to give away. I'm going to go through the comment section and use random.org to choose my winners. And I'm going to have it end Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central. And I'll go through the comments and assign a random generator and all that good stuff. So again, look for the pinned post. I'm hoping maybe this is going to be just a little bit easier than maybe just replying to your comments, which I'll also do that too. But I want to make sure that all of my winners get their gift codes. So again, leave a comment below with what you're wanting to get this month, etc., and let's dive right into the swatches. First up is Alchemy Lacquers Dreamland Sunset. This is a lavender acrylic with red to orange to gold to green shifting flakes and red to orange to gold to green shifting shimmer. This is inspired by a beach that the maker and her hubby went visiting in Bali called Dreamland Beach. Price on this will be $11.50 and there's a cap of 250 bottles. So this has a very curly formula that, in my opinion, leans just a touch more on the jelly side. So for full coverage, I'm going to suggest 3 coats on it. It does build up very nice. Now, if you wanted to keep this as one of those more softer sort of shades, I think 2 coats would be pretty flattering too, but I'm pretty extra and I want that nice plump richness on my nails when I'm finished. So I think that 3rd coat really helped to make everything pop very well. Now the flakes in this one are in a mixture of sizes. So there's small, medium, and as you can see on that 2nd coat, I had quite a chunky one come up on there. So you'll get this really strong opaly sort of effect. Now in indoor lighting and bright lights, this is mostly going to take on, at least the flakes, this reddish sort of appearance, and at angles they shift over to green. This dries down quite flat, so I'm going to suggest a good glossy top coat to finish this one off, and you'll be good to go. And next is Aurora. She brings us Bridge to the Cinematic Universe, described as a deep blue polish packed with geometric shimmer and rainbow flakes. This is inspired by Bifrost, the rainbow bridge used by the Asgardians to travel throughout the realms of the Marvel Universe. Price is $12 and there's a cap of 200 bottles. Now, I want to note that when I received my bottle, I did notice that some of the little flakes in here did settle just a touch to the bottom of the bottle. So I'm going to recommend giving your bottle a very good shake before applying. And I think that'll help get everything nice and homogeneous. So for opacity on this, I'm going to suggest 3 coats. It does have quite a light feeling to the application in general. So I think that if you go in normal wise and at that 3rd coat, it'll plump up very nice and give you the most glitter and flaky payoff. Now this does dry down quite thirsty and quite flat. So in my full hand shot in a moment here, you are seeing a glitter smoothing top coat. More on that in a little bit. And a glossy top coat. So I just think it helps give that extra glittery sort of effect, especially because this is what I would consider more of a full coverage micro glitter in terms of finish. So the flakes here give it just a bit of depth, and what I'm going to go out on a whim and say is that that geometric pigment used in this are those very fine particle colorful glitters, and that's mostly, in my opinion, what's building it up to full opacity. So again, on the full hand shot, you are seeing that glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat, and you can see I've got no thirsty issues and everything is nice and glossy. And next is Baroness X Silk Road. This is a copper metallic pigment fluid art polish with blue to red UCC flakes. This can also be used as a regular polish, and it will be opaque in 2 to 3 coats. This is inspired by silk and other textiles traded and traveled along the Silk Road. Price is $12 and there is no cap on it. So I have recently done a fluid art polish video for Baroness X. I think I've kind of got it down as to how to really get this design in general. So I'm just really speeding up this video. I went a little ham with the beginning of this. So what I have found, especially with fluid art polishes that have quite a bit of heavier types of pigments in them, for example, Silk Road, it's got so much bronzy and purple sort of flakes in it that I found that when you make a bit of this water marbling method almost, that you kind of put the polish drops within each other, then it just kind of helps to spread around this design. So I found that doing that and then just letting it slowly travel down my mat and gently guiding the polish with the end of a brush, I kind of got that design to build up. So in my opinion, I don't think this one's going to give you as heavy of cells, at least in my experience, just using this specific one, but it gives you more of this very mixtured sort of gaps in your polish that you use, whether you used any type of creams, and then it's going to also leave behind these adorable little purple flakes. So let your decal dry down for about 45 minutes, apply it to your nail with a base coat, and then clean up, and then you are good to go. And Baroness X also brings us acetone antidote this month in the scent Chai Tea. This is scent notes of ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon bark, and spiced black tea. This will be $4.25 with no cap. I typically put an entire vial in my Zoya pump bottle, or I put 1 to 2 drops in my Dappen dish when I'm cleaning up, and it just smells so good. This month, I'm a big time tea lover. I love loose leaf tea, and this nails it in terms of that chai tea scent. Very pleasant and just absolutely wonderful. And next is by Danny Viana. This is La Vie en Rose, described as a clear when warm to green when cool thermal with pink aurora shimmer and iridescent flakes in a mix of glitter. This is inspired by the rose fields in Grasse, France. I apologize if I've said that incorrect. Price is $12.50 and there's a cap of 200 bottles. So this has a very jelly-like formula to it. I feel like when you apply it, it's going to have just a touch more of a softer type of feel in terms of that warm state, which in my opinion is colorless, but I think the shimmer kind of gives it this sort of milky effect. The cold state has this very lovely green sort of color with it, and it transitions very well. So depending on your preference, you may want a third coat if you polish thinly, but otherwise 2 to 3 coats, you're going to be perfectly fine. Finish off with a glossy top coat to get you that juicy sort of appearance, and you can see here with the ice water shot, very lovely green. And Cameo Color Lacquers brings us La Vie Lumiere. This is a mauve leaning lavender with a touch of hollow sparkle, full of pink to red to gold shimmer, blue to indigo sparks, copper to gold to fuchsia UCC flakes, and silver hollow micro flakes. Inspired by the Eiffel Tower at sunset. Price is $11.50 and there's a cap of 100 US and 5 UK. So quite a mouthful there. I do apologize if I say any names incorrectly in this video, especially those of you who have native tongues of specific languages. I just blanket statement, I do apologize. So the cameo for this month is very lovely. It's this luminescent sort of purple. It's got quite a strong shimmer effect with it and lots of this very scattered holographic sparkle, and those little UCC flakes are the multi-chrome flakes you're seeing here. They are on the smaller size, so you'll get this nice speckled effect across your nails. Now for opacity, I'm going to suggest 3 coats on it. I think if you are rocking shorties, you might be able to get away with 2 coats, but I felt like that third coat helped to really make it pop, especially in terms of shimmer, a really flattering, medium-toned, glowy sort of purple. And again, I'm going to recommend a glossy top coat. And next is Crystal Knockout Painted Planet. This is a pink to red to orange multi-chrome shifting base with black and red shimmer and lavender holographic micro glitters. This is inspired by the Painted Desert of Arizona. Price is $11 and there is no cap. So this has a bit of a jelly-like formula to it in my opinion, and it built up perfectly for me at 3 coats. So I think some may be able to get away with 2, but personally in my opinion, I think 3 coats is going to make it pop the best to really bring out that lovely pinky sort of almost magenta effect. Now I do, in my opinion, want to note that the multi-chrome effect to this, when it shifts over to orange, in my opinion, is a touch on the subtle side. I did see it at very extreme angles in shaded lighting, but I think what you're mostly going to see is what you see on the video. At least on my monitors, this is coming out decently well for what I'm seeing in person. Again, I'm going to classify this almost as a magenta sort of shade. It's quite vibrant, and I really like the micro glitters in this. It gives this extra scattered sparkling effect. Now this dries down flat, so again, I think a glossy top coat is going to be perfect for it. I didn't have any problems in terms of severe texture from the hollow glitters here, but I still think a good glossy top coat will flatter this one the best. And Cupcake Polish brings us the Fjords. This is a denim blue nail polish packed with green to gold to red, shifting aurora shimmer, pink to gold to green to blue, shifting iridescent flakes. This is inspired by the maker Sarah's adventures through the fjords of Norway. Price is $13 and there is no cap. So this has a very jelly formula to it, quite a bit of a strong squish factor, and for opacity, I think 2 to 3 coats is going to be perfect. Now the base color is one of my favorite types of blues. It's this somewhat dusky medium sort of shade, and the flakes in this just take over everything, give a very strong iridescent effect that in indoor lighting takes on this green and gold sort of look, and at angles it just shifts very lovely over to this pink, and then blue sort of shifts too. Lots and lots of shimmer action happening with this one too, so you'll get a strong green shift at angles from the strong shimmery effect. And again, I'm going to suggest a good glossy top coat. And next is Cuticula Bloom, described as a soft sky blue base with shiny rose gold metallic flakes, purple metallic flakes, and a different sized mix of pink and purple glitters. This is inspired by cherry blossoms in front of Mount Fuji in Japan. Price is $12.50 and there is no cap. So this is what I consider a true Crelly formula. It's just the slightest bit squishy, very smooth on application, and easy to build up. So I think some can get away with 2 coats on it, but I thought going in somewhat light and going in for a 3rd coat really helped to maximize the pond effect, meaning the glitters showing between your layers and getting excellent glitter payoff. So I think 3 coats is perfect on this one. Again, if you have shorties, you might be able to get away with 2. Now this dries down quite flat, so you're going to want to use a good glossy top coat to finish it off, and you'll be good to go. So I had no problems in terms of this being overly textured, but I think a somewhat more viscous or thicker type of top coat will help to really seal this one up and give you that awesome plumping effect in your final look. Now, Cuticula is also offering up her Sync base coat this month. This is a very hydrating and very strengthening base coat. The price on this one will be $9 and there is no cap on it. In a previous video for my nail care video, I did mention this one. I think this is an excellent, excellent base coat, but full disclosure, at the time I was swatching for Polish Pickup this month, and what you're seeing on the video here, I do have a thin layer of gel on my nails right now. The breaks have been awful, so I just wanted to really make that as transparent as possible, but I highly recommend this one. It's also unscented, so if anyone has any scent allergies or sensitivities, whatnot, I definitely recommend picking this one up. And next is Dom Nail Polish Sunsets and Chill. This is described as a reddish pink to orange with a pink and gold shift. This is inspired by the Hawaiian sunset. Price is $12.50 and there's a cap of 150 bottles. This is very stunning in person. I want to note that I think it's a little tricky. I just have a strong feeling that on different monitors, this is going to come off skewed and different colors. In my opinion, this builds up to a very vibrant reddish color with an orange undertone to it. So the shimmer also kind of plays up against the base color. You'll see it as a pinky shade, and at angles it shifts over to orange. Overall, a very warm, wonderful color. It's very flattering. Now for opacity, I'm going to suggest 3 coats on it, I think it plumps it out the best. Very satisfying on that 3rd coat, and it dries down semi-gloss, so I think any top coat will be just fine with it. And you can see on the full hand shot a little more of the shimmer action going on here. It's quite strong, and the base color is just so very vibrant. I think they play up very well against each other. And next is Different Dimension, Take Me to the Beach. This is described as a pale turquoise crelly loaded with pink to gold aurora shimmers and holographic micro flakes. This is inspired by pink sand beaches of Bermuda, price is $11, and there is no cap. So this has a very crelly formula. It does lean a bit on the creamier side in terms of the brush strokes, and it builds up very quickly to opacity. So for full coverage, I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats depending on how you polish. The shimmer here is not super strong, but it is very noticeable in person. It takes on this lovely pinky sort of shade against that turquoise base. Very flattering, and it's got this somewhat baby blue sort of undertone to it. Very, very pretty, and it self-levels well. So it dries down flat. So again, I'm going to suggest a good glossy top coat to make it pop the best and really exploit the shimmer with this, and also get that subtle holographic effect from the micro flakes. And next we have DRK Nails Red Force. This is described as a chameleon super shimmery pigment that shifts from red cherry to bronze to green. This is inspired by the light up display used in the Kelvin Grove Art Museum. Price is $13.50, and there is a cap of 250 US and 25 UK. So this is another very flattering color. It's very much packed full of shimmer. When you build it up, it's mostly going to take on this very strong coppery sort of appearance, and at angles it easily shifts over to a luminous bronze. Now in person, for me at least, I do feel like that green shift is quite subtle, and it's mostly, in my opinion, a copper to bronzy sort of shift with it. Very, very pretty. Now this has a smooth jelly-like formula with it. I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats depending on how you polish, and it'll plump out very nicely, and then finish off with a glossy top coat, and you'll see that really lovely, flattering, what I consider more of a warm sort of duochrome. And next we have Fair Maiden Polish Lucky Charm. This is described as a creamy mint polish with yellow to orange shimmer, and it will come with a bag of golden clovers. This is inspired by Ireland's Blarney Stone. Price is $11, and there is no cap. I love this type of shade. It's just so flattering, and it just screams spring to me and warm weather. It's lovely. So this has a very crelly-like formula to it with a strong squishy factor. So I'm going to suggest going in light on your coats and bring it up to 3 light coats. I think that'll really help maximize the shimmer best, and it gives this soft sort of golden glow with it, and it'll self-level really nicely. This is just a very flattering color, really nice, and I think if you got medium to deep skin tones, it's really going to pop on you. Now this does dry down quite flat, so I'm going to suggest a good glossy top coat to finish this one off and give it that nice gel-like plump appearance when you're finished. Very, very lovely. I think the shimmer in person is obvious. It's not very, very strong, but again, you'll see that sort of light, soft, sort of golden shimmery effect from the finer particles in this one. And Glisten and Glow brings us Sunsets Over Super Bloom. This is a darkened coral loaded with color shifting iridescent flakes that shift from pink to orange to purple to blue and gold. This is inspired by Death Valley National Park. Price is $12.50, and there is no cap. So this has a true juicy jelly-like formula to it, and this is another one that I just have a feeling, I know it's going to get skewed across screens how you guys are watching, so just in case, I do agree with the official description. This is absolutely a darkened coral with a strong, very deep sort of neon orange undertone to it. Really interesting color, and it builds up very quickly to opacity. I think for the most part, 2 coats is perfect, as it has this strong plumping-like effect when you're applying, and the flakes are very strong. So you'll get this pinky purplish sort of color roll with those, and at angles they shift over to purples and blues. Very lovely. Now Glisten and Glow is also bringing us her glitter grabber. I have had lots of questions about this. I highly recommend picking it up, as if you just like indie nail polish in general, I highly recommend it. Now I'm showing you guys a polish that's featured towards the end of this video, and it's a micro glitter, so it's thirsty and it's got texture to it. So the way you use this is just apply a normal to light coat of the glitter grabber, let it dry down for just a few minutes, and then finish off with your favorite glossy top coat. Here I'm using Glisten and Glow's glossy top coat, and it leaves you so stinking smooth and glossy. It's wonderful. I highly recommend it. I think everyone needs a glitter grabber of some sort in their polish arsenal. Highly recommend it. This is fantastic for flakes, for glitters, and for any type of very dull like finish. And Hearts and Promises brings us Sunsets at Sur. This is a dark purple multi-chrome hollow polish with pink shimmer, inspired by its namesake. Price is $12.50, and there is a cap of 400 bottles. So in case you did not know, Hearts and Promises is the rebrand from previously named Turtle Tootsie Polishes. So we have a new bottle, new logo, all that fun stuff. Now Sunsets at Sur has a somewhat jelly-like formula to it, but it builds up very nicely to opacity, and I'm going to suggest 3 coats on it to build it up. When you go to the 3rd coat, I think the shimmer really pops very well. In indoor lights and in bright lights, it takes on this very strong pinky sort of effect. There is a quite holographic effect to this too that will absolutely light up in direct sunlight. And I think mostly what you're going to see is what you see on the video, at least in indoor lighting. That's what it'll look like. I do agree with the official description. This is definitely a true dark purple, especially when you build it up. It levels down very well and it dries down semi-gloss. But again, I'm going to suggest a glossy top coat to help that shimmer really go through its color roll and maximize that holographic effect. And Indie by Patty Lopez brings us Graves Creek. This is a multi-chrome shimmer that goes from green to purple with multi-chrome and crystal flakes. This is inspired by a place in Idaho. Price is $12, and there is a cap of 220. So this one I think can double as a topper, especially over darker creams. And when you build it up, it still has a very soft like effect. So if you have a prominent free edge, I think you'll absolutely see your visible nail line, aka your smile line. So overall, this is very much a strong limey green to purple shift with it. It's very obvious in person, and the flakes match up very well with it too. So if you do choose to wear it on its own, I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect for it. Honestly, I think that it gives you this lovely soft sort of multi-chrome effect. And on the 3rd coat, you'll get quite a bit of those flakes to pop very well. Now this dries down quite flat, so you're going to want to use a glossy top coat to finish it off. And again, in bright lights, indoor lighting, you'll see it mostly as this lime strong sort of somewhat golden undertoned green with a strong purple shift at angles. And next is Lemming Lacquer, Giant's Causeway at Sunset. This is described as a violet to pink to gold to green multi-chrome with holographic microflakes in a brown jelly base. This is inspired by a sunset at the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. Price is $13, and there's a cap of 200 US and 15 UK. So this has a very rich jelly-like formula to it. It's very easy to build up to opacity. I'm going to suggest 2 coats on it. It really popped very well on the 2nd coat. And this is another one that I would classify as a somewhat earthy sort of multi-chrome effect. Now in indoor lighting, it does have this bronzy sort of effect to it, and the multi-chrome pigment has this violet-y, somewhat pinky sort of feel also with it. And it just really shifts over to gold and green at extreme angles. So quite vampy and deep, and again, plumps out very nicely. Now this dries down quite flat, so you're going to want to use a glossy top coat, which is what you're seeing on my full hand shot here. And MJ Lacquer brings us One Happy Island. This is a white Crelly with gray undertones with violet, pink, and gold ultra chrome chameleon flakes, sprinkled with small fuchsia hex glitter, topped with red to purple Aurora shimmer. This is inspired by the maker's trip to Aruba. Price is $12, and there is a cap of 145 US and 30 UK. So this is actually MJ Lacquer's first polish in Polish Pickup, so let's all give her a very warm welcome. I do agree with the official description 100% that it's a white Crelly, but there are these gray undertones. So I would classify this as being not quite a stark sort of white, and it just really plumps out at the second coat. So I think for the most part, 2 coats is going to be perfect for most. It's got a ton of these flakes and glitters and these little Aurora shimmers here too. Kind of reminds me of an Easter polish, if you will. Very flattering, and again, I think 2 coats is going to be perfect for it. Now it does dry down quite flat, so I think a good glossy top coat will make this one pop the best. And next is MLF Lacquer Red Rock. This is described as a rusty red mauve polish packed with iridescent flakes that shift from orange to pink to gold, and Aurora shimmer that shifts from red to orange to green, inspired by Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado. Price is $11, and there's a cap of 190 US and 10 UK. So this has a very jelly-like formula that somewhat leans over as being a Crelly. It plumps up very nicely between 2 and 3 coats, and it just packed full of flakes here. So the base color is very interesting to me. I do agree with the official description 100%. This is definitely a rusty red with a mauve tone to it as well. Very flattering and leans with a very subtle undertone of being almost like a neutral kind of feel with it. Very lovely. It's cool toned, so if you've got warm undertones like myself, it's going to pop on you very well. And I think for the most part, 3 coats is going to make it pop the best and give you the most flaky payoff. Now this does dry down quite flat, so again, I'm going to suggest a good glossy top coat. And Night Owl Lacquer brings us Love Bridge. This is described as a slightly grayed burgundy with a rainbow of crystal chameleon flakes inspired by romantic bridges all over the world. Price is $13, and there is no cap. So this has a very jelly formula to it, and when you build it up and finish with a very glossy top coat, will give you that nice juicy jelly sort of effect. And for opacity, I'm going to suggest 3 coats on it. It'll help maximize the amount of flakes on your nails and also help that base color to pop very well. So I do agree with the official description. It's this sort of burgundy color, but maybe, in my opinion, I think maybe that grayed out dusky sort of feel with it also gives it a bit of a purpley, dusky sort of appearance too. I do feel like the video, at least on my monitors, is coming off accurate to what I'm seeing in person. Just in case it's not, again, I would say it's a dusky sort of burgundy with a purple undertone to it. Now again, going in with a glossy top coat kind of helps to get those iridescent flakes to pop really well. They have all kinds of rainbow effects to them, so you'll see a bit of a mosaic-like effect when you're finished. And you can see on the full hand shot here, quite a bit of them. If you have been collecting Lindsay's flaky filled polishes like this one's definitely going to be up your alley. And next is Polish Crystal Ice Caves. This is a super sparkly aqua holographic with a strong green to blue shifting glow inspired by Ice Caves of Iceland. Price is $13, and there is no cap. So if you recently watched my polish video for her recent collection, this basically goes along with that set too. And this is lovely, very luminous, strong type of shimmery effect, very glowy, and it's got quite a bit of this holographic effect too. Now this is very opaque and very dense, very smooth on the brush strokes. I think 2 coats is going to be perfect for most, and it does dry down somewhat flat, so I think a glossy top coat will really make this one pop very well. This one is very luminous in person, very, very pretty. Shannon herself said that if you liked the Big Boo polish, which that is one of my favorite polishes, it was so stinking pretty. This has a similar sort of finish to it. So very, very nice. And next is Pampered Polishes. She brings us The Happiest Place on Earth, described as a deep blurple jelly loaded with holographic and platinum flakes, inspired by Disneyland. Price is $13, and there is no cap. So this has a very jelly-like formula to it. This is another one that I think gives off that juicy sort of vibe when you finish with a glossy top coat. For opacity, I think 3 coats is going to pop the best on it. This builds up very, very pretty. So when you go in for that 3rd coat, I think it just pops so well. If you are rocking shorties and you're polishing quite light, you might be able to get away with 2 coats on it. But in my opinion, I think 3 coats made it pop the best. So those little platinum flakes are some of my favorite types of finishes, and they give this lovely scattered sort of reflective sparkle and really wonderful. So the base itself is very jelly-like, so you'll get this pond effect so you can see the flakes in between your layers. Really nice. And again, use a good glossy top coat for this one, and you'll see on the full hand shot here, it's got that nice juicy sort of effect, especially with those lovely silver flakes. And next is Penelope Loose. This is Sunset in Rio, described as a silvery base with iridescent flakes and galaxy silver glitters. This is inspired by its namesake. Price is $13, and there is a cap of 500 US and 50 UK. This is another very luminous one in person. Don't mind the cat in the background if you can hear it. This is very glowy. It's just really unique, very interesting in my opinion. It's got a mix of these medium and larger types of flakes. I think this might be able to double well as a topper if you go in light at 1 coat over. I think it would look really nice over a white cream. But if you wear it by itself and you just want all this extra goodness like myself, I would suggest going in for 2 to 3 coats on it. It is definitely one you want to see in person. The flakes have a strong iridescent effect, and of course this also has that lovely scattered sparkling effect happening with it too. Now it does dry down quite flat, so I'm going to suggest a good glossy top coat to finish off with, and it kind of seals everything in and really helps the color roll of the flakes in general. And next is Polish Molish, Look Into My Ice. This is described as a deep blue jelly with green undertones and silver flakes and white glitters. Inspired by Baikal in the winter, price is $12.50, and there is a cap of 245 US and 25 UK. So this is really something to see in person. It is very lovely. This is a strong, juicy, jelly-like finish. It's got quite a bit of flakes that are somewhat reflective and glitters in here. Really beautiful blue, and I know I'm very blue biased, but this is just beautiful in person. Now this dries down quite flat, so I'm going to suggest a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat applied quite thin, and I think you'll be good to go and you'll get this beautiful pond-like effect. This is wonderful. So I gave my bottle a good shake before I applied, and I had no issues getting quite a bit of the flakes and the glitters on my nails. The flakes kind of remind me of like shard-like shreds appearance. Really nice. I had no problems with them laying down nice and flat for me, so super smooth after going in with the glitter grabber. And next is Pretty Beautiful Unlimited. This is Follow the Swallows. This is described as a gray crelly warmed with red to orange to gold shifting shimmer and a mix of 4 crystal chameleon flakes. This is inspired by San Juan Capistrano Mission. Price is $12, and there's a cap of 150 US and 10 UK. So this has a definite gray feel to it, but in my opinion, there's a strong taupe-like undertone. If you have warm undertones like myself, this is going to lean as a strong nude against you. There's quite a bit of that red to orange shimmer that I absolutely saw in person. So in indoor lighting, it takes on this reddish sort of appearance, almost pinky like, and at angles it shifts over to an orange and a gold type of glow. There's quite a bit of the flakes in here too, very rainbow-esque looking, and it builds up very quickly to opacity between 2 and 3 coats. There's also a bit of a squish factor with it depending on your preference. So if you go in light, you might need a 3rd coat like myself, but if you have shorties and you go in normally, you might be able to get away with 2 coats, but again, this is going to depend on your preference. Now this dries down quite flat, so I'm going to suggest a glossy top coat to finish it off, and you'll be good to go. Now, Pretty Beautiful Unlimited is also bringing us another wax sampler this month in the theme Traveler. This is a wax sampler bag with up to 8 ounces of wax, and it has 15 cents in it. This will be priced at $8 and has a cap of 180 US and 20 UK. So I'm just speeding through this real quick. That's the scent card that it comes with. Each bag also comes with a charm that right here, I'm actually looking for it. This month I got the Eiffel Tower charm, quite large, and it's metal, very cute. And also, these scents are wonderful. Once again, I like to melt these in my bathroom as the wax melts have small and medium sizes to them. So these have been awesome in my bedroom and in my bathroom, and they are wonderful. And next is Rogue Lacquer Shark Bait. This is described as a rich ultramarine blue packed with vibrant turquoise flakes and hollow micro flakes, inspired by the Great Barrier Reef. Price is $12.50 and there is no cap. So again, I'm going to be very blue biased here, but if you like blue polish like myself, this is another one that I would absolutely recommend picking up. This is stunning in person, quite vibrant. It's a medium blue, it's very vibrant, and all the flakes in here just kind of give this very oceanic looking effect. Really lovely. There are so much flakes in this. Now it applies very dense on the nail. I think for the most part, 2 coats is going to be fantastic for most across the board, unless of course you are rocking those awesome stilettos and very long nails. Otherwise, I think 2 coats is fantastic. This is so smooth and just a beautiful color. This dries down flat, so finish off with a glossy top coat to get those flakes to shine very well. And as you can see on my full hand shot here, wonderful flaky action against that very flattering blue base. And next is Top Shelf Lacquer California Gold Rush. This is a full coverage holographic gold micro glitter inspired by the gold mining museums and trails in California that you can still visit and experience panning for gold like the pioneers. Price is $12 and there's a cap of 400 bottles. So last month, Top Shelf actually released a silver version to this one. I actually got my order yesterday, and you better believe it was a micro glitter and I ordered it. So if you are wanting to pair them together, I think they would look awesome. This is what I consider a true type of gold finish. It's got this somewhat very goldish sort of yellow lean to it. So if you have golden or yellowish undertones like myself, then this one is going to be just a touch darker, say, than if you had more cooler undertones to your skin tone. Overall, it's very sparkly, very easy to build up to opacity, and for the most part, I think 2 coats are perfect on it. This is thirsty and it will dry down textured. So this is the polish that I showed you guys as the example for the glitter grabber from Glisten and Glow. And you can see here, I'm glossy, good to go, and everything is smooth to the touch. And Top Shelf Lacquer is also bringing us her hollow quick dry top coat called It's Not What You Drink. This is a quick dry formula with a touch of hollow sparkle. Price is $9 and there is no cap. So I'm going to show you guys this over a black cream. Last month or the month before, I showed you guys it over a blue. This is a wonderful quick dry glossy top coat, and it is very fast drying, has a very lovely formula to it, very smooth on application, and it has those little adorable holographic little flecks throughout it. So there's no need to top coat after this one. If you are wanting to use a top coat that's quick dry, that's very glossy, but you also want that extra sparkle to it. And last but not least, we have Watcha. This is Hell's Door, described as a black to red multichrome with gold glitter and micro flakes. This is inspired by the Darvaza crater. Price is $13.50 and there is a cap of 200 US and 15 UK. So this is using that wonderful black to red multi-chrome pigment, and I'm really enjoying seeing what makers are doing and taking their own personal spins using this pigment. This one is lovely. So the pigment itself has this cooler sort of tone with it, and this one has these gold micro glitters, and they are quite sparkly in person. Now for opacity, I'm going to suggest 3 coats on it. I thought it plumped out very well on the 3rd coat, and it really maximized that black to red multi-chrome pigment. Now this dries down somewhat thirsty, as those glitters are on the somewhat normal range in terms of size. So I think a good glitter smoothing top coat or using a somewhat thicker glossy top coat will smooth this one out very well. It's not overly thirsty per se, so depending on the glossy top coat you use, you might get away with not using a glitter smoother, but again, this one is quite thirsty. So finishing off with my glitter grabber and my glossy top coat here in the full hand shot, you can see very shifty. Now the site is going to be up for previewing for wish listing hopefully tomorrow. I am voicing this over and compiling this on Saturday, so depending on when this comes out, wish listing will be open and you guys can get in there, check out what's being offered this month. There are so many goodies. And Polish Pickup will open for shopping February 5th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and will run until February 8th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. I will link you guys below to Polish Pickup's shop and the Facebook fan group if you want to get in there and check that out. Also, P.S. I am also going on a somewhat endeavor with Polish Pickup, and I have helped to create the Polish Pickup TV. I'll link you guys to that channel below too if you want to check that out too. We are going to be doing all kinds of fun things regarding behind the scenes stuff, interviews, all that good stuff. Lots of fun stuff planned over there, so make sure you follow that channel too. Also, don't forget to enter my personal giveaway, so leave a comment below. Let me know what you're wanting, what you liked, etc., etc. Let me know. I love reading your comments. Again, I will pick 10 winners and I will pin a comment to the post. My giveaway will end this coming Wednesday, February the 3rd at 9 p.m. Central Time. I will reply to your comment if you won, and I'll also again make a pinned post in the comment section so you guys can see it a little easier if you were chosen through random.org. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.